What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I finally went ahead and hopped in and tried out some Marathon. And again, thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream. I will be live again today at 1 p.m. Eastern time to, kind of further get some better impressions of the game so I can, kind of come to a conclusion if I really enjoy it or if it's, more so mediocre, if I hate it. I guess I could tell you right now, I do not hate it whatsoever. I actually am having a pretty dang decent time. But if you guys want to tune into that stream and see me continuously playing, like I said, come to a better conclusion, you guys find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But boy, oh boy, the whole time I'm sitting here playing it, and I'm glad I didn't go online, I'll be real. I completely avoided Twitter. I completely avoided Reddit. I avoided every social media out there to, again, come to my own personal opinion on what I think of the game. And I'm glad I did this because, my goodness, everywhere online is despising Marathon. Absolutely hating it like it's just the worst thing known to mankind, which is kind of sad because I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Do I think it's the best extraction shooter ever made or even the best, first-person shooter ever made? Heck no. Not even close. But is it a fun game? In my opinion, yeah. I think it's pretty fun, and sadly, just like every game I've ever witnessed in my whole life, it's getting bombarded by people who will probably play 2 matches, they don't care about it, and they're going to simply move on to another title. I actually saw a post by Spectre15 over on Reddit that I think summarizes all the hate perfectly, if you ask me. They went ahead and said, "This is probably the most miserable open beta I've ever played, and has nothing to do with the game. Been having a lot of fun so far, and there are definitely some criticisms, but this open beta is probably one of the most miserable ones I've ever taken part in, and it isn't even the game. I look online, and everything is copy-paste criticism slop from people that played 1 match, DOA, Roblox, bad graphics, question mark okay, too complicated, etc. It actually gives me a migraine seeing some of this discourse online. None of the discussions are even about the content or anything constructive. It's just moaning and moaning everywhere you look. I feel like in order to experience the game, you need to unplug yourself from the internet, because it's impossible to see any unbiased discussion about it without someone screaming in your ear saying it's bad. Do I think there are criticisms? Yeah. But like, Jesus Christ, give the game some breathing room before declaring that it's bad. It's like half the people playing are primed to hate it no matter what, and there isn't an inch of charitability they are willing to give the game because Bungie is tied to it. I was playing with some randoms who are avid Arc Raiders fans, and they were telling me how much fun they were having. They talked about how PvP was more fun because of no 3 peeking, the visuals were cooler, and the weapon balance seemed fair so far. Then I checked discussions online, and you'll have thought Hitler reincarnated and just gave a speech at the Game Awards. People need to chill a bit, lol, and honestly, I completely agree. I was the same exact way. It's hilarious. I hopped into the game without seeing anything that anyone was saying online. Again, like I said, I don't think it's the best thing in the universe, but it's definitely a fun game if you ask me. It has its flaws, I think the UI is absolutely horrifying. It definitely needs some work. When it comes down to your match-to-match gameplay with PvP and solos, it can be kind of low-key sometimes, which I don't think is the end of the world because it's nice. In Arc Raiders, you're always getting third party when you PvP. If I kill someone, I have to get ready for like 3-4 more people to come on through because in Arc Raiders, people continuously spawn. When someone dies, someone spawns back in. But Marathon, everybody spawns at the same time, and nobody spawns mid-match. And in solos, you can't play as Rook, so you're not going to have any Rooks spawning in mid-match. So everybody's right there, right out the gate. And it's just not as much third party. A lot of the 1v1s end as a 1v1. And, I kind of like it, but I do agree. It could be a bit more tension when it comes to, the amount of people who are in the experience. Even if it's just like a couple more players in the solo, match that we're in. That would go a long way. But, it just... The world is ending to a lot of these individuals out here. Nobody even gave it any time. Like, I'll agree, when I first hopped into the game, it was confusing. It's a lot of stuff to understand. It's a lot of things that you need to kind of just adapt to because it's a kind of a confusing game. It's a little bit more complex. It's kind of pointing towards the Tarkov direction. Not as hardcore as Tarkov, where it's very intimidating to new players, but it's definitely there with all the different weapon mods that you can get, all the different, attachments for your weapons too that will give you, attributes and abilities, things for your character, your runner, all of this. It's so many different types of loot in this game, which again, another criticism of mine is it's hard to really differentiate some things sometimes. I'm getting a tad bit better, but it's still a bit difficult. But the more I played, the more I understood. The more I understood the map, the more I understood where to get PvP, the more I understood where to find combat, the more I understood how to rotate and use my abilities better, how to find the best loot, how to quickly loot. Like, you'll see all my beginning footage. And yeah, I'm having a rough time. But that's how we all look in every game we have ever picked up. It takes time to grow into the experience. Now, if you just don't like it because you just think it doesn't really play that well, that's fair. A lot of people are just not going to like it. If it feels bad, they just don't really care for it. If they don't like the art direction, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's great. But there are some out here that you could just 110% tell they came in with one goal and one goal only: to make sure they talked as much crap on this game as possible and to make sure to talk down on any person who enjoys the overall experience. I've said this time and time and time again, but I'm going to say it again for you guys because I think it's very important. And it's very important to me to keep speaking about it on this channel because I want to, make sure people understand this. Gaming has evolved and it has become something horrible, ladies and gentlemen, and it really depresses me. Nobody wants to just, play games they enjoy, and if they don't enjoy them, they stray away and they just go play something else. I used to do the same thing. Call of Duty used to piss me the heck off, yet and still I would sit there and make video after video after video after video complaining about this game, talking down on this game, talking down to anybody who might enjoy the game. And then I grew up. And I came to the conclusion that this is stupid. I'm wasting my time. People who want to enjoy it should be able to enjoy it, And if you don't like it, there's hundreds of other games out there that you can have a fun time with. But just like how I fell into that cycle, a lot of other gamers have sadly fallen into that cycle as well, but they're not recognizing it. They're not noticing that they're falling into this toxic cycle of gaming now, where people will stalk games and stalk people who enjoy those games just to ruin their time. It's an embarrassing cycle, and you could tell Marathon has a bunch of people who are, either Bungie fans who are pissed off that Destiny 2 is getting, less content and they're not working on Destiny 3. This is their creation. Other people who are like Arc Raiders mains who, want to see nothing else thrive in the extraction shooter marketplace, which is a bad mentality because more competition equals your game getting better updates, right? You don't want competition to die because then you have games running monopolies and they can do whatever they want. You have all these people coming into the scene who are just, again, stalking the game and talking down on it. I'm willing to bet money that this game is going to get absolutely review bombed. And mark my words on this one. It's going to be by people who have less than an hour of playtime. Shoot, I'm going to go as far as saying less than 30 minutes of playtime. These people will probably put in 1 to 2 games, and I guarantee the reviews are going to be flooded with overwhelmingly negative posts saying how bad it is and how horrible Bungie is at their jobs and how they don't know how to develop anything good. This is just the way games go nowadays, guys. Anything new that comes out online, people will just try to dunk on it because they get enjoyment out of predicting the death of games. It's such a weird kink that these losers have online, man, but it is what it is. That's what they enjoy doing, and sadly, it's not much else for us to do besides just keep talking about it and keep bringing awareness to people that this is how people act within the gaming world. And the only way to sadly counter it is by proving the game is good with the player count. The player count is all that matters to people. If it has a low player count, it's quote-unquote not good, and it's a horrible game. And if it has a high player count, all those haters are going to shut the heck up. The same exact thing happened with Arc Raiders. I remember so vividly all the content I was making ahead of time before Arc Raiders dropped, and people were just calling me crazy, saying that this game is going to die on launch. Oh, you hype up nothing but the worst games. This game is dead. It's a failure. And then the game drops in beta. Once again, people are overwhelmed because extraction shooters, although Arc Raiders is a very casual extraction shooter, it has a lot of depth. It's, still has a lot of things you need to learn. You have to understand all the arc. You have to understand all the maps. You have to understand all the equipment, all the weapons, all the everything, It's complex. I can't think of one extraction shooter that isn't complex to get into that doesn't require hours worth of playtime to understand the overall flow. And people are saying the same thing with Arc Raiders. This game is way too much. It's way too much going on, way too complex. And guess where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen? Arc Raiders is still topping charts, getting hundreds of thousands of players every single day. And again, all those people who were talking so down on it left. They vanished. But I guarantee if Arc Raiders dwindled away a little bit more and had less players, those people would still be here to this very day because that's just what people do. They stalk games. They literally crave the downfall of some of these titles. And if the downfall does begin to happen, they'll continuously stalk it. And if the downfall doesn't happen and they do maintain a player count, they'll move on to the next game. And I'm telling you right now, if Marathon can maintain a player count, those losers are going to leave. I'm telling you, mark my words. I want you guys to remember this video. If the player count is good, The losers will leave. They won't be, bashing the game anymore mindlessly. Of course, we'll have constructive criticism, real talks, real discussions about what's wrong with the game. Like I said, UI, the lack of some combat, scenarios. It's other things to discuss. There is. And we'll have those discussions. But all the pointless hate, people who haven't even played the game, who are just there to bash on it, they'll vanish. And guess where they're going to go? To the next new title, because that's all they do. They hunt down every new game to find the ones that will dwindle away. And they like to act like geniuses when they, quote unquote, call the death of a game. But when a game doesn't die, they don't want to check that one off on the box of things that they're wrong about. They will never mention it ever again. But when they do call it correctly, they're like, oh yeah, my track record is phenomenal. I know absolutely everything. I am the god of gaming. And when I say something is good, that means it's good. And when I say something's bad, that means it's bad. What a bunch of dorks, man. It's just so sad to see this type of just hate. And I know a lot of people who think this game looks awful. I have had tons of people come into my comment section saying that this is just not the game for them. And guess what? It's legitimate criticism. It's real reasons for not wanting to hop in the marathon. And at the end of the day, they don't care that I enjoy it. They don't care that anybody else in the stream enjoys it. They state their opinion and they move on with their day. It's sad to see so many people who aren't like that. It's depressing. And like I said, at the end of the day, they are realistically just dorks, losers behind the keyboard who want to try to make other players experience horrible and demotivate them and make them not have a good time. It's sad, but that's what people like to do. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I just want to put together a video talking about this because it's wild. I didn't really expect it to be this rough. But the amount of people that I am seeing that are just, forcefully bashing the game, not really giving any, real criticisms, like I've stated before, that people have been giving to me for real reasons why the game is bad. Just, pointless hate, the usual stuff. It's sad. And, I wanted to put my first impressions together, but I'll probably save that for another video because I want to get a little bit more playtime before I really, dive deep into that topic. And again, as always, make sure you guys tune to the stream. That'll be up at 1 p.m. Eastern time today, and we're going to grind it out for like another 5-6 hours to see if I can get a really good understanding of the game and just, kind of improve so I can, give you guys some really good impressions. But for today's video, I just thought it'd be hilarious to just dive on deep into the drama, showcase it all, and I guess see what you guys have to say about it down in the comment section, whether you guys agree or if you disagree. Regardless, everybody has opinions. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. So make sure you guys share them down below. But guys, as always, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe and hit that bell. Post 2 times here. Actually, I've been posting 1 time a little bit more. I don't know. It depends. If it's hot news, it'll be double uploads. If it's not hot news, maybe I'd upload a day regardless. If you guys enjoy this type of variety content, subscribe and hit that bell. You guys know it means the world to me. And like I literally just said, if you want to catch my stream, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.